What's happening, good people? You are right on time for the show, which keeps you updated on all your celebrity tea, gossip, and movements here and everywhere else. They're perambulating and doing what they do best. My name is Laura Mbata, and I am the one you come to when you need information on the street, financial advice, love. When it comes to anything, ask me. And of course, I'm joined here by the very beautiful and talented
Linda Wandete, and of course, welcome to the tea, guys. I'm super excited to be joining you today, and guess what? I'm a mention finances, and I really hope that she sorts me out. And of course, I hope that you guys also stick around until the end of the show, and I hope we have a good one.
Yes, don't forget to interact with our hashtag, that is hashtag KTN the tea, on our social media pages. That's at KTN Home. My personal pages are at Mbata Laura, that is on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok.
Exactly, and don't forget that if you miss out on any of this, we got you on YouTube, and of course, you can always catch up with us there. I am Linda Wandete, but also go by Lynn_Stevens across all my socials.
Of course, every end of the year, we sit down, you reflect, you think, and you're like, because Thanksgiving was just a few weeks ago, and you think about what you're grateful for. One thing I'm really grateful for, and I've learned over the years, is actually being a Kenyan. Being able to work at home, live at home, keep in contact with your family, and you know, just understand when life changes. Because me, a few years ago, the expressway was never there. Now it's here, and I'm actually adapting to it. It's very hard to move somewhere else and come back home and feel this is my home. Because you feel like a foreigner, a stranger, but you still want the craving of home. So today we're talking about Kenyans who are succeeding everywhere else as Kenyans. Being a Kenyan is already an extreme sport.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, surviving
and
this
street, at the same time.
if you were born in Kenya and you've survived to date, I don't care when you were born, even if it's yesterday, you are a trooper.
You know one thing they say? They say that so long as you've survived Upper Kenya, there's nowhere else you cannot survive.
It's true.
And that's why we are here to update you guys on some of the Kenyans who are actually making us proud out there. And on the list, we start with Lupita.
Oh, girl, listen. Let me tell you, Lupita has been making us famous everywhere. She came, she changed the game, she's in music, Beyonce sang about her. Let me tell you, Nicki Minaj knows her name. What do you mean?
I mean, everyone knows Lupita.
If you don't know who Lupita is, you live under a rock. There's music that Nigerians are making about Lupita. And she has been in both Wakanda movies. She's been in several horror movies that have been directed by Jordan Peele. Exactly. So, if you guys were looking for someone to just, you know, name a road after, a street, a building, you want to baptize a chicken, name it Lupita, because she deserves all her flowers this year. Something big that happened to her was she became the brand ambassador for De Beers, which is a diamond company, or a jewelry company that deals in diamonds. And the internet was not having it. This is because De Beers has a history of human rights violations, whether it's the blood diamonds or something along those lines. People were saying that Lupita was the worst person to actually put on this campaign because it kind of downplays the atrocities that De Beers has been accused of. But here's my thing. There's so many other people who are making money through this company. When our own is making money, I'm not saying that atrocities should never happen. People should be held accountable, and maybe she has a plan. Can we just trust Lupita? She's not failed us yet. She's not failed us yet.
I mean, money is calling her, and of course she has to answer, you know. And despite the fact that, you know, she received all these backlashes on the internet, she said that she actually had, how do we say it? She is planning to empower women across Africa with the whole project. Listen, so guys, please, by the time we are looking at the other side of the coin, can we also consider the positive one?
Social responsibility is a very big thing, especially if you're in a position of power. But here's the thing, guys. Would you guys pay her paycheck, her rent, if she's not employed?
I know, right?
Absolutely not. So why is she listening to you? And she already said she has a plan. I'm pretty sure she's not ignorant to all the things that are happening with this company or had happened with this company. So can we just trust the process?
We can't erase history, right? We can't erase history, but it happened, and we can move on. You know, I mean, come on, if you actually forgive your ex, mbona Lupita asifanye hii kazi?
Exactly. And someone else who has been making headlines. Let me tell you, this man, Nyashinsky sang about it.
Oh my God.
He is was he the brand ambassador for Nike? He was featured in GQ. And let me tell you, I've never seen a more handsome man. Kale, man, give me a call.
I don't know. I feel like he deserves the title the African Giant. I don't know. Just say.
Don't come for Burner like that. He might.
Let's put Burner Boy aside.
Burner fans might cancel us.
Anyway. Let's talk about that another day, because if we start comparing who's the Kipchoge.
Kenyan runner Eliud Kipchoge breaks his own record at the Berlin Marathon. A new world record was broken at the 2022 Berlin Marathon. The 42.195 kilometer race was completed in just 2 hours, 1 minute and 9 seconds. Let me tell you, Eliud is not your father, is not your mate. And let me tell you, he deserves every accolade.
It's the only reason I'm gonna go out there, introduce myself as Kenyan. I mean, the moment I say Kenyan, they say Kipchoge, you know, they relate like that. So, I mean, it's making us proud. Of course, it's raising our flag so high. And we are always behind you, Kipchoge. Keep doing you. Nakama bado, nataka, wife number 2, wife number 3. I got you.
And here's the thing, a lot of time, over the past years, which is a good shame, as a Kenyan, I love to see it. People who've been taking part in sports and all these kinds of, you know, entertainment sort of things, have never been getting the recognition they deserve. So you remember there was a time where athletes were being treated so poorly when they went to play in outside countries. But with people like Eliud Kipchoge making the outside world notice us, is we are held accountable. The institutions that are supposed to be taking care of the athletes, of the runners, and they are put on the spotlight and they're asked, what are you doing for your athletes? Are you doing right by them? So even though Kipchoge is doing his own thing, he's winning his own races, breaking his own records. Can you imagine breaking your own record? Like you're better than the version you were before. And at the same time, you're helping other athletes who are coming up after you. So I don't see a reason for a Kenyan parent not to say, talent yako hailipi. If you're a runner, you're in school, that's campus. If you're a rugby player, a football player, we have football player playing for international teams. These are things as a youngin, you can't do this. As a Kenyan, you've had this. Yes, tell your mother it does pay. I'm going to the Berlin Marathon to break records.
But you know what? When we speak about Kipchoge and all these people who are making us proud out here, we don't even mention education most of the time, you know. So if you're a parent out there and your child is doing good, you know, just don't consider education all the time. I mean, it's always going to count, you know. It's always going to count. It's super essential.
But they could be able elsewhere.
Exactly.
They could be able differently.
We can be, exactly. That's the right time, able differently.
Exactly. So support your children, support your friends, support your families. Like someone I talk to music, you just support them because you never know where it ends. Speaking of music, someone else that we need to talk about is KC. KC, who is a Kenyan-born American, was producing a song on the Donda album, and he actually sang the chorus.
Yeah.
And he was nominated. He actually won a Grammy for some producing credits and all those things. He's a Kenyan guy.
He's a Kenyan.
For me, a person who works in music, because I have my show work there, which you should also watch every Saturday.
Up next.
When artists come, you can hear what people tell them. Oh, people don't listen to Genge, people don't listen to this, people don't listen to that. You don't listen to that.
It's just a lot of
someone else appreciates this because the one thing people might not know about KC is he's signed under Kanye West. So clearly someone is doing something right, and he has so many accolades. I see him on social media, and I'm proud to be a Kenyan.
And that should just tell you that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. I mean, it's been said over and over, but for real, I mean, Kenyans, we have a lot of potential out there.
It's funny, like when you talk about Africa, there's certain countries that people know, which is Kenya is mostly the most popular. But when it comes to music or acting, you see a lot of Nigerian art, South African art. But when you go behind the scenes, like to all these major companies, like
we are the brains behind this.
There's a lot of Kenyans. So why is it that at the grassroots, where it's like the talent, this is the talent, where it's raw, you don't have recognition as it deserves? See, so for me, it's very questionable. But like I said, it's all about appreciating us being Kenyans and doing big things out there. Can you imagine me on the red carpet? Can you do your thing in China?
I know, right? I know. It's all about time, don't worry. It's coming, it's coming. And speaking of music and winning, I mean, we have, what's his name? Blinky Bill, whose music has been featured on Netflix. Right?
Yes.
That's such a win.
You guys, do you remember Blinky Bill from back in the day? Like, I'll tell you that song on the internet when I recall it. But Blinky Bill has been featured in a Netflix movie. Blinky Bill's song, has been featured on a Netflix movie called Look Both Ways. Yeah. Look Both Ways, which has an actor from Riverdale, which was at one point the most popular Netflix series people beyond their ages. If you were after 30 and you were watching this, can we have a meeting? So, and the thing about the Netflix show that he was featured in is that it was directed by a Kenyan by the name Wanduri Kahiu. Can you imagine Kenyans supporting Kenyans? And this is the one thing people should really learn. Helping someone up doesn't mean you lose something. Right. It just means you allow someone else to shine your light and it doesn't dim yours. Can you imagine two lights just shining on two Kenyans? Both of them are just climbing and climbing and climbing until eventually they need to catch a break, just like us, because we're going on a short break. We'll be right back. This is KTN the Tea. Stick around.
Welcome back, guys. This is KTN Home, the team. My name is Linda Wandete, and of course, I am joined by the beautiful Laura, and we are here to bring you guys up to speed with what is happening here and beyond our own country. So we were speaking about someone
going
called
up
Billy
in life,
left,
Blinky
right?
Bill, yeah,
I know, right?
Who's been winning through and through, and
been.
we wish him all the best. He creates good music, so take some time, listen to him. It might not be your style, but try something different. You never know what you might like. The problem with us is you want to keep listening to the same song, that one song you know over and over again. If you are a new person who's never heard of Blinky Bill, because somehow you live in the Indian Ocean with all our demons and all our problems, come out and let me introduce you to good African music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of good African music, you're not just saying that, you know what, najua Nairobians kunasemanga stay dangerous, but it doesn't pay all the time. So apparently there are two staffs from which?
Wilson
company?
Airport.
From Wilson Airport, who just landed themselves. One of the biggest things that could ever happen to them, right? That could ever have happened to them. So one of these people actually found a bag containing some money. I'm talking about how much? 2.4 million shillings. And you know what? He was so faithful to actually return it back. Turns out to belong to one of the visitors from UK. Yeah. Laura, Ebu, tell me, if you get 2.4 million today by mistake, unafanya nini?
By mistake?
Because this was a mistake. Hey.
Listen, by the time I'm getting that 2.4 million, it's not a mistake. God made it happen. Because I've asked, by any means, legal or illegal, I will make it. Yeah. So me, if I find 2.4, right, it was no mistake. It was your mistake to lose it, but I found it. Damn. But of course, this just shows how far Kenyans go to be decent human beings. This person returned the money and, you know, didn't expect anything in return, or was like, I took some out or I found it less, the full amount. And guess what the owner of the money did? Came back and offered them a scholarship. Because, like we said, whatever your passion is, be true to who you are. Things have a way of aligning themselves to your calling. And speaking of calling, Crazy Kenna and our very own Kwambox were in the UK for a Creators Summit. You people, Crazy Kenna has been making you laugh throughout the years. You know, even the things that you're ashamed of as a person, because when you're coming up, especially in this industry, like if you live in poverty, you know, you have your single room, bed sitter, you're struggling, you're always so ashamed to say, this is who I am. But he creates comedy over such normal situations like campus living, how you interact with people, you're keen.
Basically things that everyone can relate to.
Exactly. And there's nothing as funny as laughing at, I'll say laughing at your pain, but also relating to something and feeling it's never that bad. So thank you so much to Crazy Kenna, Kwambox, who's always inspiring us every morning. Kapow! With Kwambox, we see you and we hope you get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Keep doing us proud. I mean, like, for the first time you guys are out there, or like whatever happens to you guys there, we're also involved as country, as your fellow countrymen, okay? So whatever you do, just know that the win is for us all.
It's for us all. Of course, there are so many other people who are awarded this year. We might not be able to mention all of them, but someone in particular I want to mention. And we've had like a hot and cold relationship with this person on the show, but one thing is for certain. Eric Omondi is doing a lot. Whether you think it's good, whether it's bad, he is doing something. He is always moving, he's always doing something, and that is one thing you will never take away from him.
And apart from Kanye, he's the only person who looks good in rags.
Hey, I'm not going to say all that much, but I'm going to say is, he might not be your cup of tea, but when it comes to entertainment, it might not be your entertainment value. Like the thing I mentioned about Gengeton, he's doing entertainment, and there's people consuming it, and that's why he keeps doing it. Of course, he went through something this year with his girlfriend where they lost a baby, and that was the saddest thing to hear. You know, no one ever wants to wish that upon a person, so we hope they're still recovering and they're feeling better. Lynn, I've met her in person. She's a fantastic lady. She's so beautiful.
That's so nice.
So it's a sad day to lose a child, but we hope they are feeling better. Now back to the main character, this villain, because he's a villain. Me, I don't understand. I remember there was a time he was at Times Square, if I'm not wrong. Amevaka Ganga. Listen, Eric, I get it. Please look at these looks that this baby is saying. Eric was recently went to Uganda and he was fully dressed as a bush. I don't know what bush you understand. He was dressed as a bush.
There's a day he was in a bodysuit.
I am. Another day he was wearing dustbins. You know the lining in a dustbin. First of all, I thought polythene was illegal in Kenya. Where did you get all these polythene bags, Eric? Please explain to me. And he had matching boots and a very well-known Kenyan designer brand bag. But all this time he was in an airport in Uganda. Some other time he was feeling, you know what, let me switch it up and put some blonde wigs for these people. They don't get it. They don't get it. So he had his denim, his blonde wig, and he was just chilling. With this, I'm fine.
There's a time he had to bring Kim Kardashian vibes, I remember.
Yellow tape.
I'm telling you, Balenciaga on a low budget.
Yeah. But he ate it. You know me, I'm not going to blame him. It was, what was written on the shirt?
Colors kumatch, man. Yellow na brown.
You know, the funny thing is, I was at an event where Eric Omondi came, and there was someone who had stapled paper with the name King of Comedy all over his body. So I'm thinking he's getting inspiration from his fans, but whatever the case, the yellow outfits inspired by Kim Kardashian, God is seeing you, Eric, for what you are doing
and
out
the
here
brown bag
and showing us. And then there is this personality that just exists as Erika Omondi, or I don't know.
Erika Omondi. Yeah.
First of all, there was a time he danced in a bikini and I was just holding my eyes in case anything comes out. No, it was a bodysuit, right?
Yeah.
So,
in case anything comes
you know, you don't want to see certain things on the internet.
I know, right?
So he has been having looks over and over again. Love him or hate him, he's here to stay. You're not going to get rid of him easily. And the one thing I admire is he's doing what needs to be done for him.
And I hope he's making money out of it, because, honey, you can't be going through this whole struggle of putting on a bodysuit and you still have mjwangs and things to hide and you're not adding anything.
So, Eric, whichever, you do you.
Omondi.
We support you through and through. And that is the one thing I also wanted to talk about on our Style Spot segment. A lot of Kenyan artists over this year, have been getting a lot of feedback when it comes to fashion, which actually really started this year when people were like, imagine a pana, you red carpet, you guys need to start paying attention. Yeah. And as such, I feel like brands in Kenya make a lot of money. You guys make a lot of money and you pay influencers peanuts or ask them to show up for nothing. Listen, even when you show up to certain events, you can tell by the decor, by the planning, how poorly it was done, how much money was spent. You have a rough idea. So when people started calling out Kenyan celebrities for not dressing the part, they started holding brands accountable. Pay me so that you can get the value for your money. You're already making a lot of money from sales. You're already making money from references by me. So it's a win-win. It might have been bittersweet in the bittersweet, especially bitter for the celebrities who are being criticized. Like someone who I felt really bad for was Nameless being called a thug. That was wrong. I felt it was wrong. You can always give criticism without, insulting a person.
I feel like I felt more for Jackie Matubia. Like, how can you tell someone ameacha corset home?
Okay, you see, body shaming is what we don't do here. But first of all, she was just out of the element. Listen, if you don't have an outfit, you don't have to come. You see, sometimes
ukipata late invite ka kwako
kizuri chajipen
chajiuza
kizuri chajiuza kibaya chajitembeza. You don't need to show up. You don't need to show up just to be seen. Be seen when you want to be seen and how you're supposed to be seen. Don't show up for a wedding in a night gown. Do not. So guys, I feel like that was the one thing that was really big this year when it came to fashion. People actually expecting better from the celebrities.
And next year they're gonna do better.
100%.
I assure you, because even after the first
100%.
criticism, you see,
They've
improved.
They really
I mean, most of
out.
them are doing so well right now. Ukikutana na msato wezi joyoni Kenyan celebrity.
Imagine.
I know next year it's gonna be a whole year in a lot of things. I hope you guys do better, because we're not here to just be talking about you guys and the negative side about your outfits. Can you do something?
And you
Omondi,
you
our
Kenyan tailors, come
designer.
here. Come here, Kenyan tailors.
Well, Kenyan tailors.
Tabia mko nayo, mchange.
Unampatia material anahama. Na ushalipa.
I see you, Kenyan tailors. Shame on you. Next year we are coming directly
we are coming for you.
The celebrities don't have a problem, but you will come for you.
And we improve the material. Sawa.
Imagine. Anyway, Kenyans, we are so proud of you. You just being a Kenyan is already a bonus. And anywhere you show up in this world,
it's a blessing to be a
you
Kenyan.
go anywhere, you meet a Kenyan, there are people who just love to be around
Outstanding.
each other. Exactly. So, as a Kenyan, and you feel like you're an inspiration, share your stories with us as well. We like to hear them. The hashtag is always hashtag KTN the T. And if you feel like someone was left out, don't forget to mention them. We will always find time for the show. And this segment was dedicated to Kenyans. So if you're watching this as a Kenyan, this show is dedicated to you. And I hope you do bigger and better things next year. But as for now, what I want you to do is congratulate yourself for tuning into the tea right on time. Yeah, this is a wrap. And of course, we enjoyed having Linda here as usual. Don't forget to follow her as Lean Stevens on Instagram. Our KTN Home page is always open for anything. Let's talk. And of course, my personal handles are Mbata Laura or Laura Mbata. The variation works. See you next week. But for now, let's catch up on your market.